Hello and welcome to Chrissy Creates. I'm still joining in the fun with Seven Plaza and Crafty by Tony in hashtag ABC April 2026. And can you believe it? We're already in the middle of the month. We are doing letter M today. And I've been thinking what to do, and then I had the thought of doing a mini folder, mini album. I have this die cut from Holz that has this mini folder die, and I just about never use it. I use all the rest. I love this set, but I seldom use the mini folder, and then I realized I also seldom use this mini envelope. So I've decided to limit myself to these two die sets, and seeing that I'm busy using some Holz stuff, I pulled out some of my favorites, the field note stamps and also the eccentric. Let me just get this out for the glare. So I am trying to limit myself to these two sets, and I'm going to have it rather neutral. I am using a kit, it's the Botanical kit by My Porch Prints. It's very neutral. These I printed two to a page. These are actually journal pages, so they are actually supposed to be twice this size. So I'm just going to cut out some of these to use as backgrounds, just a few of the pages. And of course I will use all the fussy cuts that come with the kit. I will link the kit below in the description box. So I went ahead and I die cut some of the things that I'm going to use. I just cut this from 240 GSM craft cardstock. So I cut, I think, 5 file folders to use. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I actually cut 6. I already inked around this one, but I'm only going to use 5. So let's just put one aside. I'm going to use these as the pages for my mini album that I'm creating. You can also make this into a journal by all means. I will show you what I mean when we get there. So I also cut a few of the slide dies, and I already cut some backgrounds for, so the idea is this will be the background on the page, and then we will decorate everything and add some nice bits and pieces. I will give you measurements as we go. I don't have a prepped measurement. It's actually a sort of see what happens kind of project, this one. So I also cut a few envelopes. This one I already put together. Mind you, I should have inked it. I will still decide if I'm going to use this one. Otherwise I will just loosen it up very carefully, ink it and then glue it back together. But I think I'm going to use about 3 of the envelopes. This is from 160 GSM craft colored cardstock. So I'm going to make all the base pages and all the base flips and pockets from craft colored cardstock, and then I'm just going to decorate it with some of the kit pages as we go. So before I continue, I'm quickly going to ink all around everything, and then I will be back. Right, so this is where I am at the moment. I already cut some of the backgrounds also. So now for the fun part. Let's put this whole thing together. So I cut 3. In the end I did cut another envelope. I did cut 3 envelopes and I inked them. I didn't ink over there because that's going to be glued down. So I'm just going to quickly fold them. I'm not gluing them down quite yet because some of them I am considering maybe adding a little window to the front. I think it might look cute. A mini envelope with a mini window and a mini card inside. So I was planning and planning and planning on what to do and how I'm going to do it, because life just happened today. Everything that could go wrong on the farm just, well, not everything that could go wrong, but a lot did go wrong, and I had to help out. So it took up my crafting time, and I've been planning and planning, and I want to look super professional and super prepared. And in the end, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to switch on the video. Switch on the camera. I'm just going to go for it. And if this video isn't very edited, my apologies, guys. It's better than nothing. I just thought, let's just take all the pressure off and relax and get crafting, and I just want to do what I love. I've had enough stress for today. So what happens, happens. And I already thought, because I thought I was going to skip tomorrow, so I just thought, you know what, if I don't finish today, tomorrow will be neutral and nature, because I am using a nature kit and neutral paper, so then we'll just spill into tomorrow. Let's just see what happens. Anyway, folded them. I'm not going to glue them yet. Now the file folders, the mini file folders, I am just going to score. I'm putting the straight side. It's not the side with the tab. I'm just lining up over here, and if I can only find my little knife, I'm scoring at 2 3/4 and at 3. So I'm not going to be folding it on the score line that the die made. I'm just creating a little 1/4 inch spine. So I'm just going to fold it like that, and like that. So they are all going to just look like this with a little spine over there. So I'm quickly going to score everything and fold everything. There we go, everything is folded. Now I just want to get them in the order that I wanted to use them. Wait, while the scoreboard is out, maybe I should just quickly score the spine. So the spine is, the idea is I'm going to glue together all the mini file folders, and then I'm going to create a spine that will just keep everything together and strengthen it. I did think of just leaving it without a spine, but that is going to be very flimsy. It's going to keep folding in between all the file folders. So I decided that I am going to make a spine. So I did cut a spine that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now I'm lying 4 1/2. So it's 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And that will just fold over. So I'm going to score it at 1 and at 2 1/4. And then that should fold over the spine nicely, hopefully, if I measured everything correctly. Let's keep our fingers crossed. That should work. It looks wonky now, but it's because nothing's glued down yet. So that should work. There is the spine. I'm just going to quickly ink the spine. I'm just thinking maybe I should just ink the insides of the folders also. I would like to have a little ink on the outsides. Won't matter. I'm just using Vintage Photo Distress ink. There we go. Unfortunately, I only have the small distress inks. I wasn't sure if I was going to use them a lot because I do like the distress oxides. So I prefer distress oxide, but every now and again I find that I would actually like to have distress ink. So I'm going to just start to collect bit by bit. It's just every single time I think, oh, I'm going to buy this distress ink, there's just something else, something more interesting that comes along. So I would like the file folders to be on opposite, the tabs to be on opposite sides. So I'm just putting them in the order that I would like so that I know which tab goes to top and which to the bottom. There we go, that one goes on top. And that one goes on the bottom. Like that. This one goes on top. Ah, no, insides, Chrissy, insides, not outsides. Okay, there we go. So we have top on the, tab on the top, tab on the bottom, tab on the top, tab on the bottom, tab on the top. Okay, but why keep everything just as is? That won't be interesting at all. So let's make it fun. Okay, so all of them are in order. I think maybe I should just take some paper clips and just hold them together in the right order, in the correct order, so I don't get lost as I'm busy making the album. And of course now all the paper clips are stuck together. Boy, the story of this day. Okay, there we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to make a pocket here. So I'm just going to cut this down 2 inches from the spine. And I'm going to repeat that on the back one. So I'm just putting it into my trimmer, lining up the spine at the 2 inches, cutting that down. And I think I want to make it interesting. I don't want to just round the corners. I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. Okay, so this one also cut down at 2. There we go. Just put that aside. I'm going to pull in, ooh, interesting. Oh, surely we can use this for something. I'm just going to pop it somewhere. All right. Let me just think. This goes in like that, and that one is also on the top. That will go in like that on the 2 ends of the journal. So I'm bringing in my envelope punch, and I'm just lining up the corner with the middle of my envelope notch. Sorry guys. Fur babies are trying to warn me of I don't know what. And making a lot of noise. I'll go check it out just now. Alright, so that just looks a bit more interesting, I think. There we go. Quickly ink. There we go. Alright, so that will be glued on there, and that will be glued on this side. Sorry, I know I went off camera there for a moment. I just cut a piece of cardstock that measures 4 3/4 by 4 1/2, and I'm going to score this. Let me just think. I'm going to score this at a 2 1/2. Yes, at 2 1/2, and then I'm going to score it 1/8 of an inch after, so it's 2 5/8. So it's 2 1/2 and a 2 5/8 that I scored. I just want to make a teeny tiny little spine. Burnish that down properly. There we go, and this will just form a little flip. So we're making a mini flip also. Just take this envelope punch board aside. So this mini flip will go over the end on that side like that, and then let me just take this paper clip off. It's going to go over the page like that. So I'm going to round the corners and ink, and then we can glue this down. Let's just take these 2 pages off. And then round corners and ink. Now I did consider doing something interesting on this side, but because we have the spine, it won't work. If you don't have a spine, you can round corners, or you can even put the die, the cutting die with the edge over top of the fold, and then you get that little sort of rounded edge on the flip. But because I have this small little spine, that won't work. And I would like to have a small little spine because it gives you more room, especially because I usually use photos in my, that's why I make more mini albums that sort of feels like it looks like a junk journal, but it is actually a mini album. So okay, that is going to be glued on like that, so I don't need to ink there. I do need to ink on that side though. Here we go. I don't even know how long this video will be. I honestly don't really care. At this stage, I'm just so overwhelmed and sick of thinking everything through that I've just decided I'm just going to craft now. Okay, this goes over top like that. So let's just grab some glue, and I'm going to stick this whole bit down. And yes, it is a big edge to put inside, but because the other side has a pocket on, I'll show you just now. I just didn't want to see this piece of flap at all, so I'm just lining up the edge of the mini file folder to the center, and I am lining up top and bottom as best I can. Okay, there we go. Where is a little mop-up cloth? There we go. All right. So that will flip out like that. And then there's the first page. We're going to glue this. This still needs some ink. I inked the wrong side. Seriously. Okay. This will be a pocket on that end. So I am just going to glue that down like that. See, that is what I meant. I don't want this to be sticking out too much. But now I'm just thinking, I think I do want some patterned cardstock to go over that. And it might be a good idea to first glue that in place. Let's just see. This we cut at 2 inches. So, oh boy, look at that. Oh my goodness. It's another hot day. So art will be spilling over. I'm just going to relieve some of the pressure inside. Hopefully that'll help. Okay, let's just get some patterned cardstock. Shall we do that one? You're not really going to see any of the details though. That's too short. That's way too small. That one might, oh no, when I cut that off, it's, I think I will glue that piece in there. I'm just gonna cut off that piece. Okay. And I just need to make sure that the patterned piece will be long enough and it will be covered by the pocket. I think it should. Pocket goes there. Yes, that should be fine. And then for the pocket piece, while I'm busy, I might as well do the pocket piece. What shall we use? Shall we use the roses? Maybe. Yes, let's do the roses. Is that one? That is long enough, and we did cut that at 2 inches, so I'm going to just cut that at 1 7/8, I think. 1 7/8, and I'm going to do the envelope punch board trick again. I'm just hoping that I will punch it at the same angles. Oh, not too bad. And then that end. Hey, way to eyeball it. I think that wasn't too bad. Okay, let's just glue that together. No, not on craft. I was thinking using glue stick, not on craft colored cardstock. I don't think that'll work well. I'm not rounding the inside edges, although that side I already rounded the corners on that piece, but I don't think I'm going to round corners on this one. This one will just need some ink over there. And now it's just for some glue. Where is my cloth? Good grief, Art. Yo! Look at that! Oh my goodness! I need to just sort out this glue quickly. Good grief. Okay, now let's glue down the first page. So I'm just putting a thin line of glue on the edges of my pocket. And then I am just going to pull in my older, pull in my older mat in case the glue spills over. Okay, so I'm just putting it up straight on the spine and this side as well, and then trying to line up everything nicely. Okay. There we go, that is the first part of our mini file folder, mini album. So that will be the front. Opens up like that. There we have a pocket. Why is it coming loose? No clue. Okay. This side's also coming loose. It's as if the art glitter glue just doesn't want to grab a hold. Just going to add a paper clip for now, just to hold on there. And there. Okay, so there we'll have a pocket. There we have a flip out. And there's that page. Okay, then the next page. Let's just see which side round, that way around. Oh, let's do the back page first maybe, because it's more of the same. So this one will also be glued on to that one, but again I think I will quickly get some pattern paper. I'm not sure if I did cut this. It looks like I did cut that. Let's just see. I had that there, that one here, that one there. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which ones I had where. So these two will be glued on like that, so back to back. Why is that one so small? Oh, there's also another flip that I wanted to put in there. So I've decided I would like to have another little flap, just like we did on, where is that one again? Just like we did on this one, I would like to have this little flip out. So I just cut a piece of cardstock. This looks all kinds of crooked. Is it? It looks that way, but it's not that bad. Let me just straighten it out. So this one I cut at 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. So this is 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. And then on the 3 3/4 side, I am just scoring at, I think, 1 1/2. Let me just see, this will, yes, I needed to, you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it from the other side. I'm going to score it at 2 1/2. And I'm going to make an 1/8 of an inch spine. So I'm scoring at 2 1/2, making an 1/8 of an inch spine. Double check that. Yes, that'll work. That'll be fine. These ones go on that side like that. This one comes on this side on the little pockets. Okay. I'm just going to round corners and ink. Okay. I think I actually need to clean my craft desk. I think that is why I get so confused, because it feels like a post-apocalyptic world. I'm just trying to decide on rounded corners or no, but I think I will like some rounded corners on this end. Let's just catch that again. Then this will be glued down over, oh no, first things first. First I'm going to glue down the background paper. Then we can do I want a little notch in there? I think that will just be a bit too much. This pocket is way too narrow for that, so I'm just going to add some glue to the sides. And it's a tiny bit smaller because I don't want it to stick out on the top and bottom. So I don't know if you can really see that, but it is a tiny bit smaller than the file folder. So I'm just trying to line it up properly. And then this strippy can go over there. It just needs a little bit of ink and some rounded corners. I don't know if you pick it up on the video, but when I started out with this video, I was just sort of overwhelmed and I was sort of feeling crazy. Hopefully it didn't come over on the video, but if it did, I'm so sorry about that. It's just been a day, and this is upside down, but I don't really mind it. It is floral, so it can just be a bouquet hanging upside down. I'm not going to stress about that too much now. I think this is a little bit too wide. I'm just going to take off 1/8 of an inch. And this is at 4.5, so I'm going to take it to 4 3/8. Around the corner again. But it's amazing how crafting just calms me down. So I did feel a little bit overwhelmed after the day I had. And I sat down and I started this, and now I just feel so much more in control and so much calmer. I really think crafting of any kind is actually very therapeutic. There you go. Mop that up. Right. So these are pockets over there. And there's our little flip out. And then how was this going to go on the... Okay, so it was going to go into the album like this. Yes, it was supposed to. Was it supposed to go on like that? Yes, I think so. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head straight again. So this one is gonna be glued on to that side. This is already inked. And then that one, we need to try that other trick again. Let's just see. Wait. Let me just double check, because I've made so many mistakes today. I honestly need to double check everything. The leaf is going to go up like that, so those two ends need to be punched. Just trying to eyeball it. Oh, come on. Of course. Why not? Okay, let's just see where this crease is. Oh boy, something like that. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Okay. And some ink. Ink all around. Glue. and then we can glue these two pages together. So just a thin line of glue going around again. Now I just need to line up everything. There we go. So far so good. Hopefully this one is stuck. Why is this lifting up? What on earth? And now of course, okay, it's fine. We'll just glue something over that, or just add some extra distress ink. Alright. Okay, and now to put the whole thing together. So these two pages, this is the front, this is the back. Let's just get some space here. Okay, front two pages, back two pages, middle mini file folder. So I would like this middle one, I'm going to form a pocket on that side, and I'm going to form a pocket on this side. This pocket is just straightforward. I'm just going to add glue. I'll add it on this side and on the bottom, and then I will add it on this side so that I don't go too far up that end. Oh boy. Of course, just put it down on the glue, why don't you? Now I'm just keeping the whole lot up straight, having the spine flat on my table and lining up both ends carefully. I don't know if you followed that, but anyway, there we go. There's the spine. There are the pages, so that's front. And then we have this flip out, and there we have a pocket. And on this side, we're going to have another pocket. But for my next trick, I'm not just going to have the pocket as is. I would like to glue a an envelope. I think I will have an envelope on this side. No, like that. So we have a little flip out with the envelope there. But I'm thinking adding a little window. I think that might be nice. And then on this side, I would like to have an interesting looking pocket, I think, on this side. Or shall we just have, no, I would like to have an interesting looking pocket on this side. So first things first, I'm just going to first close my glue. Then I am going to do the envelope first. And this one is the interesting pocket. Okay, so before I glue shut my envelope, I am just going to take one of Mr. Holz's dies. This is the what is this one called? 665927 Postal, the Postal one. I'm just taking this die. I think, is it that one? Yes. Let me just quickly check. It's not the big one. Yeah, it's the one just smaller. I'm gonna have a nice big window. So I'm just going to eyeball the middle. I'm just taking a piece of this. Is just Post-it. I found this once in a shop and I can't find it again. I wish I could find it again because it is so handy. I'm just eyeballing the middle, just adding that, and I'm quickly going to run it through my die cutting machine, and then I'm going to have a look for one of Margaret's vintage photo. I'm going off my rules of limiting myself to just this kit because yes, that is just, I just think it adds a little something special if I put a piece of that as its vintage photo acetate beneath this. Alright, so I'll be back just now. There you go. I cut it out, I inked it, and I cut one of the slide pieces from vintage photo. And that's just gonna go in like that. So very carefully, I'm just adding some glue. Not too much and not too close to the edge. I don't want it to seep out. And of course it did seep out. Where is my little cloth? Luckily the seepage wasn't too much. Right. And then I'm just going to glue my envelope. Oh, first these two, and then this one, not on that side. Oh boy, okay, I just made some extra work. You know what, maybe, seeing that we will see that from time to time, luckily it's not stuck yet, I think I'm just going to quickly ink it. I'll maybe just stamp something on there. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Add a little something interesting. Okay, let's just close the glue. And I am stamping with fallen leaves, I think, otherwise you won't be able to see it at all. And let's just see my two stamp sets that I took out. What will work? It must be something let's just see. I already put glue that side, so this side must be something that do that one. Maybe just do that one like that. I hope I'm still in screen. On screen, I mean. Oh yes, I do like that. Will you see the bottom? Not a lot, so I think I'll just do the bottom of that stamp right in the center of the bottom, just in case you do see a little something there, and then you will only see the very inside of this one. Apparently the field label would like to go on there. Shall we give it a chance? I think so. Oh, come on. Let's just see. Oh, I like that. Unfortunately, that one didn't stamp far enough. But oh well, it is what it is. I'm not going to stress about it too much. You're probably only going to see it only once in a while. Okay, so this goes like that. And then this one goes like that. There we go. And of course I missed some glue. Might have been a good idea to stick this glue cloth inside. Like the envelope to go over the side, like so. Oh boy, seriously. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. Do you see what I did? It's okay. Before I do that and let's just ink all around this lovely stamp, and now I'm gonna glue it shut. Oh well. I think I need to take another big breath. I'm struggling to really get into the zone today. I don't know why. And then I make silly mistakes. Oh well. I just feel like the past 2 weeks have been all kinds of crazy in my life. I don't know why. Probably because I started this YouTube journey. My life was calm and collected and nothing much going on, just the usual stuff. And then suddenly I decided to do YouTube. And the moment I decided that, my whole life went haywire. Not because of YouTube, because of all kinds of other things. Anyway, there we go. There's that one. Now for this trick. For my next trick, let's pull in that envelope punch board again. So this is the front part. Page 1, page 2 with the flip out, and that is that middle pocket. Page 3 with our envelope, and this is going to form another pocket. But I would like this pocket to be interesting, so what I'm going to do is I think I would like to line this up there and there. And just, now I must try and figure this out. So I don't want that to be in the middle, I want that to be to the side, roundabout. I'm just trying to see underneath here where that will go. I hope I'm not making a mistake. I sincerely hope I'm not making a mistake. Okay, I will just round that teensy bit. Oh well, if I don't like it, I'll just cut it down and just have a pocket like that. And then oh, of course it's not the same. Okay, that looks better. Okay, that looks kind of weird. I think maybe I'm just going to cut that straight. Okay, round a small rounded corner. Yes. Yes! 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 It worked! It worked! I almost can't believe it. Okay, so you will attach like that, and it is in the right places and everything. Okay, some ink, and then just glue everything together. Good, 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 good. So you need glue over here. Oh boy. Over there. There we go. And then keeping everything flat on their spines. Just trying to line everything up nicely. And that looks good. I know it's not very, you can't see it very well on the camera. I'm sorry about that, but unfortunately I'm just trying to keep all the spines in line. Okay, sorry, I was away for a little bit because I wanted this whole lot to dry a little bit, and also I needed to do some pest control and just some general tidying up a little bit because I felt like I was going crazy. I don't function well working in a untidy space. So here is the spine. And now I can't remember if I gave you the measurements for the spine. So I cut this piece. I'm sure I did give you the measurements before I scored it. But today being the day that it is, so I cut this at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then I scored it at a 1 inch and at 2 1/4 inches. To form a little spine like that. So that's going to go onto the back like that, and then I'm just going to press everything down very nicely. It is a very, very snug fit, so I want to make sure that I get this right. So I'm not going to be talking now, I'm just going to be concentrating and hoping for the best. Okay, as I'm going, I'm just checking that all the spines are glued onto this one big spine, and I had to refold it just a little bit here and there. I don't really mind that. I'll just come in with some ink again and ink everything. So I'm just going to leave this for a little bit and then just cut my background pieces quickly. Just want to make sure the glue dries properly before I start doing anything else. The glue is now dried properly. You can see my spine is nice and snug in there, so the whole mini album is now nice and sturdy. This is just a banner that was in the kit. I cut off the bottom of the banner and I glued that on the spine. I'm still deciding on what to do for embellishments on the spine. I'm not sure if maybe I'll do some fussy cuts. Still thinking about that. So we have, this is the front, and then we have this pocket. Then we have a flip out there. We have another big pocket over here. We have this nice envelope flip out. I'm going to put something in there. And then we have this interesting looking little pocket over here. We have another flip out with a tuck spot there. And then we have the last page with the pocket over there, and that is the back. Now for a closure, I cut a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/2. It's a 1 inch by 4 1/2 inch piece of cardstock. I just rounded some corners. So my idea is I already cut out some fussy cuts. I would like to have one of these like book plates in the front, but I'll do a solid one because the one die is solid and the other one, let's just find the right one, there we go. I would like to have that in there, and then this is just going to slip in like that. So I am just getting my scoreboard, and then I'm scoring at 1 1/4 and at 2 1/2. So then we have a 1 1/4 inch piece there that is the same width as the spine, and we have a 1 1/4 that will be glued onto the back. So I'm just going to fold it and burnish it down well. And now I just want to make sure, because the opening on between the tabs is just about 1 inch, so I'm just eyeballing it to make sure that it is in the middle. Over there. I think I'm just going to make a mark, because it is rather difficult to keep all of this straight, and this will be inside the pocket anyway. I am adding a little pocket on the back, so it doesn't really matter that I made a mark over there. I'm just gonna put some, oh wait, let's just put some ink on the inside as well. I'm just wondering, I think for the front I would like to just put some nice papers on there, but the back I'm thinking maybe just stamping something nice on there, and if I glue it down now I won't be able to stamp. So I'm just going to pull in my stamps again. And of course some scrap paper, although I do sometimes just stamp on that mat. Let's do this. Go there. I'm just thinking maybe I should just make this like some of those file folders that has a bit of a, it has different score lines, so you can fold it anywhere, but that makes this a little bit more flexible. So I think I'm just going to should have done this before, but oh well, I didn't think of it. Just trying to keep this straight. And then there is that score line. So I'm just going to score it every 1/8 of an inch. I'm just scoring it every 1/8 of an inch all the way. To the end. There we go. You can see there it forms like a little and I'm just sort of folding it so that it has a bit of a roller action. I don't know if you can see that. I hope I was on screen there. So that makes it just easier when it's still a little bit empty. It makes it easier to close. I think that looks rather nice. I think maybe I should just add some ink on all the fold lines. Good. So that can go away for now. I already cut the background papers. So before I glued down the front, there is that. So all the background papers measure 2 3/4 by 4.5 inches. So I'm just going to glue this on here, but before I do, I'm just seeing this doesn't seem to be inked. Actually, you know what, I can glue that down because I'm going to put a background on this side as well. So the brad legs will be covered. Okay. There we go. Let's just close this up before it gets clogged again. Then just making sure this is straight, because I do tend to go crooked. So I'm just marking where I would like the brads to go. Can I see that one? Is it there? So there's that one over there. Okay. Then I'm just going to quickly pull in a piece of foam. Okay. And some brads. I have these teeny tinies. Since we're doing mini everything. Oh, come on. there's our closure. So you can pull it tighter or make it looser as your album or journal fills up. Now, what I said before about it being either a mini album, so the mini album will be just as is, but you can always put in little signatures in between all these, on these spines. You can just sew in a few pages for signatures. You always have that option. I'm not going to do that though, because I do tend to fill up everything with photographs and I don't need so much writing space. I am going to just glue down all the backgrounds and then I'll be back just now. Okay, I had such a great time finishing up this project. I inked everything, I glued everything down. It still needs some decorating. I didn't have enough time to do everything. I just want to do a quick flip through. So there is our closure. I just glued some of the bits and pieces from the kit on here. There's a carrot bend knot that I put on for some texture and some boo-boo tape, and I stamped over there. The spine is very plain. I just kept it plain, and then I'm still going to stamp some stuff over there. As I said, I'm not finished decorating. I am just running out of time. Unfortunately, ABC April doesn't allow for a lot of extra time or follow-up videos, but that's okay. I actually wanted to just put together this whole thing. So there's our first page, our first file folder. Here we cut down this part of the file folder to form a pocket that can hold a journal card, photo, whatever. Here I just popped in a plain ticket that must still be decorated. You can always glue a photo back there if you'd like, and then ticket just goes in there. And here I made a little flip out with a tuck spot over there. I left the tops of these open. I can just show you over there. Oh, there's actually a pocket behind there. Maybe I must just put something in there so I can remember there's actually a pocket in there that still needs something in it. But there is a space where you can pop in a photograph. So my idea is to put a photograph in there and then just stick the nozzle of my art glitter glue there underneath and just glue it shut. So my idea isn't to be able to remove the photo again afterwards. This side I just tore a pocket, the top for a pocket, and there's just a tag in there. And over here is also, this is also open, so you can also slide a photograph in there. Now this slide, I actually wanted to do it on camera and then I just did not have the time. So this is the slide die cut. When you cut it out with your cutting die, it looks like this. So what I just did, let me just get my cutting die and sort of demonstrate. This is just a reminder, this is from this kit by Holz, I think Specimen, yes. I actually use the rest of this kit so much. It's just the file folder that I didn't use often enough, but I actually love this mini file folder, mini album. So what I did over here, I wanted to have an over the page slide. So you can see over there, this side is also a slide that you can slide a photograph in. It's also open here at the bottom. So how I accomplished that is I just took my slide, cut it out as usual, then I turned my slide around and I just carefully lined up this top part, lines up perfectly with the bottom of the cutting die. So it fits in there exactly like that, and then I sent it through my die cutting machine again like this, so that cut out that side and the little hole. So then I basically had this bottom half of the slide I just had twice, and I folded it in half and I glued it over the page edge. I just thought that was something different. I usually don't use my slides like that, but of course this also provides the opportunity that if you would like to do it in a normal journal, you can just do it over the side as well if you'd like, or at the bottom. I just did it at the top in this one. So here we glued the file folders back to back to form a pocket between the two over there. And I just made a little triangle pocket there that you can also tuck in a tag or something. Here is that envelope I made with the window in it. Obviously it needs some finishing up around the sides, and I just stuck a journal card in there that you can see through here. So obviously in the back you can either journal or you can place a photo or whatever you'd like to do. Here I just made a little belly band that goes over the page, so you can tuck some stuff underneath that. This file folder, I added a flip page over here, and I also cut down the back side of the folder to form a pocket on this side. I also just glued a little strip of paper. Before I completely glued down this pocket, I glued a strip of paper in the back just for some interest. So we have the flip over here. I didn't do anything to this flip's inside. I think I'll just glue a photo over there. And here's another tuck spot. I just added this. So I made the flip with this tuck spot attached. So when I glue down the flip, that was in place automatically. And this last file folder, I also cut down the back to form a pocket on this side. And here I made a little flip that I just glued a slide on, and I used some of, all the slides has some of Margaret's vintage photo printouts. I printed that on acetate, printable acetate, and of course now I stuck that in too far and now I can't remove it again. I'll take my tweezers for that. That flips up, this flips down, this one is also still open, flips down. Over here, oh, that is where this was supposed to go in. Sorry guys, I was sitting with the slide and I could not for the life of me remember where this was supposed to go. Let's quickly put that in as well. These ones I'm just gluing down flat. Oh. Like that. Okay, and then here I just put a little label that was in the kit. I just glued it down on 3 sides for a small little pocket, and there is a bigger pocket behind that. And then of course over here, I don't know what I'll do there, I'm still deciding, but maybe I'll just put something, some background back there. Okay, and then on the back page, this envelope I just glued down on 3 sides, so it forms another little pocket. And then, yeah, this policy closure, for some of the other reason, it keeps opening up. Maybe I must just cross it over. Okay, but that opens like that, and of course it has something inside, or space for something inside. This was a whole bunch of fun. I really enjoyed making this little album, so I'm planning on giving this to my mom. They are coming for a visit soon, and I thought during the visit I'll just take some nice photographs and create some memories and glue them in here and just write a little something of what happened on the day. I hope you had fun with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!